welcome back to the channel. What we're going to do today is go ahead and run on over to the shop and show you guys what y'all need to go ahead and get started powder coating. So let's go ahead and run on over there. Alright guys, welcome to the shop. I'm about to show you the most important things that you guys will need to go ahead and get started powder coating. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright, so the first thing that you will need obviously is a powder coating gun. This is not the first gun that we started off with. We started off with the regular Harbor Freight powder coating gun. Then we jumped up to one of these Spectra Coat guns. We realized both of those weren't worth the so now we got the top quality gun. Pretty much the way that you're gonna select your gun is based off what you're gonna do. If you're gonna do regular basic projects, cups, little things like that, go ahead and get your Harbor Freight gun. If you're gonna do anything other than cups, go and get you the real deal Holyfield, because if not, you're gonna waste so much more time, so much more money, and so much more powder. So the second thing you're gonna need is some powder. You're going to need something to put in your gun. We get all our powders from prismaticpowders.com. We're gonna go ahead and leave a link in the description below. So after you have your gun and you have your powder, you're still gonna need a few more things. Let's go ahead and run on over to the other side of the shop and show you what you're gonna need. All right, now that you have the powder and your gun, you're going to need some air to supply that gun. What we have is a 60-gallon 12 CFM air compressor. You will not need an air compressor this big to powder coat. All right, and if you are going to be doing anything bigger than a set of cups, you will need a sandblaster. Now that you have your sandblaster, you have your gun, you have your air compressor, and you have your powders, you will need something to cook the parts in. So let's go ahead and show you what we got. All right, and one of the most important pieces of the puzzle is going to be your oven. We went ahead and got this oven on Facebook Marketplace for around $50, I believe. It was the longest time ago, so I don't remember, but I do know it was under 70 bucks. We went ahead and powder coated a bunch of cups with this until we stepped our game up and got the 4x4 by 6 foot oven. Now we're able to powder coat a lot bigger pieces. So we have our oven, we have our air compressor, we have our sandblaster, we have our gun and our powders. So now that we have the basic things out the way, and if you're going to be powder coating for real, you will use some chemical strip. What we use is B17. This will remove paint and powder in minutes. This is going to allow you to bring your parts down to bare metal before you throw them in the sandblaster. All right, we went ahead and got a bunch of the big stuff out the way. Now what you're going to need is something to hang the parts with. What we use are the 60-pound capacity C-hooks from High Temp Masking Supply. And we have a bunch of these littler ones that we use for smaller parts. And a bunch of those right there that we use for when we need to use them. Over here, what we're gonna have is a bunch of masking stuff. So this is going to prevent powder from getting inside all your threads. This is an absolute must-have if you're powder coating for real. If you're doing it as a hobby, doing cups, you will not need this. These right here will allow you to cover up anything that seeds to another piece of metal. And this right here is an absolute must as well. If you're gonna be powder coating for real, you will need some high heat masking tape. A set of gloves is going to be essential for a powder coater. A bunch of this wire right here, so that way you can hang crazier parts that aren't necessarily going to be used with a regular hook. You're going to need a bunch of these, not necessarily a bunch, but we like to keep a bunch on deck so that way we don't have to keep cleaning them for when you're going to powder coat wheels. We have a set of cut proof gloves because my ass cut myself all the way down to the bone one time and not trying to do that again. We have a bunch of these to tap into the rack so we can hang the hooks into. We never really use them. You do not need those. But what you are going to need are a bunch of razor blades. Razor blades are key to taping. So keep that in mind. These right here is little baby attachments that we use whenever we're two-toning rims. And this is just some stuff for our other shitty gun. And a bunch of these too, so that way if you ever want to switch your ground up or something, you can reconnect them. But that's pretty much it. All right, we went over all the masking stuff. We went over all the stuff that you need to get started powder coating. And one more thing that you are going to want is a toolbox. So that way you can keep all your tools in order and you're not running all over the place looking for shit. All right, y'all, that's pretty much the end of this one. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and if you can, call that number and get your rims powder coated.
Hang around killers with racks on me. I done made me some plays and put tax on it. It feel good to come all the way back from it. When you up, they gon' say that you act funny.